We have a Ford V8 4.6 liter that we're going to go through the steps to replace the water pump. Before performing a cooling system repair, it is recommended to flush the cooling system prior to installing any new parts. With the cooling system flushed and completely drained, we'll disconnect the negative battery cable. Before starting your repair, you always want to be sure you're working with a cool engine. Remove the radiator hose from the retaining brackets at the bottom of the fan shroud. Disconnect the electric fan connector and remove the retaining bolts from the fan shroud. The lower portion of the fan shroud will rotate out of the way in order to remove the shroud from the vehicle. Using a fan clutch removal tool, which are available at most local parts stores, remove the fan clutch. Be sure to inspect the fan clutch for any loose bearing or an oil leak. Loosen the 4 water pump pulley retaining bolts. Using the appropriate tool, remove the drive belt. Finish removing the water pump pulley. Remove the water pump retaining bolts. Due to the design of this water pump, it can be difficult to remove. You may be required to tap the water pump hub in order to remove the water pump from the engine block. As you remove the water pump from the block, there may be residual coolant. Be sure and capture this. Be sure and thoroughly clean the sealing area before installing the new water pump. Install the new O-ring into the water pump sealing groove. It's a good idea to use anti-seize on your water pump retaining bolts. Using a light silicone-based lubricant, lubricate the O-ring. This will ease in the installation of the water pump. When installing the water pump into the water pump cavity, be sure and tighten the bolts in a crisscross pattern. This will allow the water pump to be properly seated into location. Torque the water pump retaining bolts 15 to 22 foot-pounds. Be sure and clean the inside of the pulley where it mates to the water pump hub. This will help to alleviate any imbalance condition that would cause a water pump failure. Hand tighten the water pump pulley bolts. Install the drive belt. Finish tightening the water pump pulley bolts. Install the clutch fan and tighten using the fan clutch tools. Install the fan shroud. Reposition the lower radiator hose into the fan shroud brackets. Reconnect the electrical fan connector. Reinstall the negative battery cable and refill the system with a 50-50 blend of coolant and distilled water to manufacturer specifications. It's a good idea to test your pressure cap. A faulty pressure cap can lead to an inefficient cooling system. If you do not have access to a pressure tester, these are available at your local parts store. Start the vehicle with the heater on high. Allow the engine to reach operating temperature. Visually inspect the cooling system for any leaks. At this point, shut the engine off and allow the engine to cool completely. Check the coolant reservoir and top off as needed.